Hey. Okay, so I'm doing something a little bit different this time because for some reason my phone will not record on Zoom. So I'm just going to do it live, wing it, and I'll download it from there, and then you'll have it for recording, all right? So if you happen to, well, if you're not on already, you're not going to see it. Okay, I'm assuming this is going to work. All right, I'm going to assume this is working. So, welcome to our quick little workshop on sun salutations. So, what's so great about sun salutations? There's a lot of things, and usually if you hit up any yoga class, maybe except for a yin class, but any yang class, which means a class where you're using your muscles and you're moving through flows and using your breath for a moving meditation, Y-A-N-G, you're probably going to have a sun salutation. And what's amazing about the sun salutations is there's physical and symbolic things about them that I want you to know, characteristics. So first of all, it's basically, kind of this regard to the sun, regard to the giver of our life for our world, right? It's a salute to them. And it's also giving regards to your self-illumination. And, just kind of letting you be you. It's a flow that you do regularly so you can get the breath involved and you can just kind of really get into that moving meditation because you know what you're going to do. Now, physically, what it does is it warms up every single major muscle group in your body, all right? So, even when I go, like when I used to train people at the gym, Catherine, you may remember this, but anytime I train somebody at the gym, this is actually how I warm them up, was with Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskar A. I expect you to remember that name. Just kidding. All right. So here we go. I'm going to show you an example of it first, and then we're going to just go through the breathing only, and then we're going to do a quick run through of each posture. And then I'm going to show you a really sloppy sun salutation, and they are so much fun to do. So by the end of this, you're going to have a good idea what sun salutations are, and I'm going to give you, I need to write down so I don't forget, an action step. Hey, whoever just chimed in, I just want to let you know that I'm having to do it this way because I couldn't record the Zoom for some reason. So instead of worrying about technical difficulties right then and there, we're just going to do it this way today. And then you'll have the recording. All right, so let me just show you an example of a sun salutation real quick. So we're standing at the front of our mat. In fact, I'm not even going to say anything for this first one, all right? Self-illumination. It feels so good to just move with the breath. It's amazing. Hey, Cheryl, glad you're on. Sorry we're having to do it this way rather than the other way, but I'm glad you're on. So that was just the run through of the sun salutation. If you're just tuning in, I went through the physical and not spiritual by any means, but just mental thoughts and characteristics of a sun salutation. So go back and watch. So now I want you to hear the breathing only. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. There's a 30-second lag time, so I may not see it very quickly. So the breathing is just a series of inhales and exhales, right? And so when you take the arms up overhead, you're expanding the chest. You're bringing in the air, the light. Exhale, forward fold. You're kind of contracting, so you'll exhale. And then inhale, you're just lifting halfway, expanding the rib cage again. Exhale, stepping back into chaturanga. chaturanga arms. You're basically in a plank with arms like this. All the way exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, open the heart. Exhale, downward dog, kind of bringing it back in, still lengthening through the spine. Inhale, half lift right here. And exhale, contracting again. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. So every movement has a breath. And what's great about this is that once you get it down, it's really rhythmic. It's almost like kind of running and finding that meditation and running one step after the other. We talked about walking meditations. It's kind of like that. So I'm going to go through the motions with the breath. All right, I'm going to say it out loud, the breath. And then we're going to run through each posture. So watch one more time. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, finding length in the back, dropping the head. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping back into plank. You can stay plank or chaturanga to the knees. Inhale, cobra or full-on up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, stepping back to half lift. Exhale, forward fold, moving into that completion stage. Inhale, arms coming overhead. And exhale, back to mountain pose. All right? So, with that said, let's go ahead and run through each of the postures. Sound good? So, hope you can hear me okay. I'll do it this way. So we're standing in our mountain pose, right? Shoulders are back, but as we talked about yesterday with shoulders, they're not scrunched, they're open, opening up the back of the heart. You're going to inhale, arms swooping overhead. Now notice my chest doesn't stick up and my hips don't stick back. We're still in line and you're finding length through the front and the back. As you exhale, watch this. You're going to lean forward. You can totally bend those knees if you want, but look how flat my back is, right? And say you're right here. You're going to drop the head. Back is still flat. Now notice the difference in my weight distribution from the heels to the balls of the feet. Now we talked about that alignment, remember earlier, last week, 101, bone on bone, hips are now on top of ankles. And you're going to take it down, hands to the mat, doesn't matter how much you need to bend the knees. And then half lift is just simply lifting the head. It is not coming from a full forward fold into a half lift. I see people doing that all the time, and it's not right, and here's why. For one, our hands are on the ground to prep us for plank. For two, this, unless the instructor is reminding you, and you're reminding yourself every time to engage the glutes, that puts a lot of stress on the lower back, all right? So the half lift is just a head lift, and then you step back into plank. Now in this plank, your gaze is out. You can come to the knees always. Maybe you want to stay on the wrist, or maybe you want to skip the next thing, stay in plank and elbow plank. So, but full on plank, wrists are under shoulders, hips are not sagging or piked. They're nice and flat, pushing through the heels, engaging quads, release the glutes a little bit. Shoulders are strong, not sinking. If you go into that chaturanga, you're going to lean forward just a little bit because that's going to keep the elbows on top of the wrist. And then you're going to put the shoelaces onto the mat, coming into up dog. All right? Now notice the back, guys. I still have mountain shoulder back. Not squeezing, not dropping, not sinking. Lifted. Because again, we're saluting the sun. It's our self-illumination. So we want to open the heart as wide as we can, but we still don't want to squeeze the back of the heart. And then you're here in your up dog or cobra. Then with loose glutes, engaged abs, you're going to exhale, lifting the hips into downward dog. I'm breaking these down for you just a little bit So heels are in front of the toes, feet are hip width apart. All right? Finding length in the spine. Palms are flat, like you're gripping a basketball almost. And then you're just going to step through, back to half lift. That's your inhale. This half lift, your weight is still on the balls of the feet. You feel this internal rotation in the upper thighs. Keep the internal rotation in the upper thighs forward. Well, I'm not expecting you to remember all this, guys, by the way. All right? I just kind of want to give you an idea of the physical aspect of it. And then engaging the glutes, you can swoop the arms overhead and hands coming to heart center back into mountain pose. So I could literally, I'm going to sit down for a second. How y'all doing? I could literally do an entire day workshop on a sun salutation. But honestly, you guys, I don't think that's why we're here. I don't think that's why y'all joined this group. I think that the most important part about any of this yoga is to connect the mind and body, right? And if you're constantly focusing on form, then it's really hard to connect the mind and body. So with that said, there are different yoga philosophies. There is a yoga called Iyengar. Don't ask me how to spell it. And what that is they are strict form. I mean, you will be exactly how they tell you to be, and if you move from where they tell you to move, they will tell you, all right? The other is there's just freedom yoga, right? Just to kind of do whatever. Just keep yourself safe. Just let your body move. For me personally, when I'm doing my at-home practice, that's what I do. I have dance moves incorporated in there. I've got a sun salutation, and a lot of times I end my practice on the sloppiest sun salutation I have because it just makes me feel free to do whatever. I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to think about engaging. But also, as you keep doing this and practicing this, then it's going to become more easy for you. It's going to get that mind muscle developed, your regular muscles developed, so where you're not going to have to think about it that much, all right? So I need you to tell me, how do you think the best way would be for you to learn a sun salutation? Is it for me to, well, a video like this I think is great, but also I want you to have something for a quick reference. So I'm thinking of doing little pictorials with the inhale and the move on the side. So just let me know what you think would be best, and I'm going to create that for you guys. So here is the action step that I'm going to give you, all right? I want you to practice this, and I don't want you to be hard on yourself. I don't want you to worry about every little thing I just said. I just want you to practice the movement with the breath. And that's just part of it. I want you to film yourself doing it. You don't ever have to show this to anybody. But one of the most powerful things that I did to help me really open up to a sun salutation is I filmed myself from one of the first times that I learned it into now after a 200-hour training that I did. And it's just amazing to see that progress. Even if you think you got it down, it's just really cool to see that progress. So film yourself doing it and just keep it on your phone, all right? So I'm going to end this with a sloppy sun salutation. These are so much fun, and you can do it this way too, all right? Hold on. Let me get the camera back up. There you go. Speaking of sloppy, look at that old dog back there. You old dog, y'all ham. You're ham. Okay. Sloppiest sun salutation ever. That's it. You're just going through the motions, all right? And I do that I want to invite y'all to do that just so you don't have to think that this has to be perfect, okay? All right, you guys. So if you have any questions, write them below. Thanks for kind of winging it with me on this live video. I was expecting it to be Zoom, but I think this is going to work out just grand. Have a wonderful rest of your day, you guys. Bye.